I can't actually believe it. This is the 9th time we've run this conference. My hair and lack of it, I think, is an indication of what's happened over 9 years. The Cloud Software Association is actually 10 years old this year. It's incredible. But after 10 years, I've had some experience, and today I'm going to dish on the toughest negotiators I've ever faced. So don't be sweating. The song is not really about you, but I have a good story for you. So imagine a CEO. She wakes up in the morning in a cold sweat. She wants more revenue. She rolls over, DMs her top deal maker and says, you got to pick up the phone today. You got to close a deal. You got to bring in more cash. Who is she talking to? I'm sorry to say it's not you guys. Clicker. You're killing my jokes. It's all timing. Thank you. It's her VP of sales, of course. Why? I love our friends in sales, but I'm a little jealous. They have something called predictable revenue. Every time they close a deal, the company goes up and to the right. It takes a little risk off the table. They're like sometimes the favorite people inside a SaaS company. But we don't deal in predictable revenue. We deal in unpredictable revenue. We're partnership people. Every time we close a deal, we take a risk. We take a risk on another company. They're going to help us go to market, reach more customers, serve the customer better. But we don't really know what the other company is going to do. We're betting the resources of our company every time we do a partnership deal, hoping that we're going to get something in return. It's a bit like gambling, but we're pretty good at it. And sometimes pump partners do a good job for you. Sometimes they don't. But it's our job to figure that out. And I will say that over 10 years, I've learned some things. But when we started 10 years ago, I had just gotten married. And so when I was thinking about partnerships, the analogy I had was romance. First, you meet someone at a conference, you do a little flirting. Hey, we should do a partnership together, go on a coffee. So let's do a guest blog post, maybe a webinar. Things get really excited. You might do an integration. Things go really well. You might drop $50,000 on a trade show booth at their conference. You might do a commercial engagement. And if they're really special, a merger and acquisition. It's a great story. Hollywood movie, I think. But not every partnership is this good. I mean, most of our partnerships develop in this way. I think when we think about our jobs, we're moving our partnership relationships along this happy path. But not every negotiation goes this well. And there's always sometimes every year you deal with someone, you're just like, what is going on? Why is this person driving me bananas? This person is crazy on the other side of the phone, you think. What are they doing? Why am I meeting with their VP, EVP, SVP, ESVP? How many VPs does this company have? Why don't you close the deal? Sometimes you have an MOI and the contract comes back and legal has totally rewritten it. What's going on? Sometimes you have the deal and they fade out in execution. You're doing your part, but where's the development on their side? Sometimes you have a partnership, you've been going well for 2-3 years, and some dark cloud emerges and suddenly there's a lot of pressure from them. I've never really known what to do with it when I was starting partnerships, because it wasn't romantic, it wasn't fun. And so what I do is sorry, this relationship isn't working out, I'll just leave. But you can't do that with every relationship. Some things get really tough. I didn't really have the skills to deal with it. So today, I'm going to explain to you who are the toughest negotiators I've ever faced and what I've learned to deal with them. Are you ready? Anyone sweating? I hope not. It's my kids. My kids, I love them. I can say that with full confidence because I'm here with you today, and they're thousands of miles away. But they run the table on me constantly, and anyone who's ever been in a negotiation with me, I've done better than you. I'm sorry to say my kids are just better than you. They're just better. Sorry to say. And they're willing you can hire them for $400 an hour, and they'll win any negotiation for you. No, it's unfair, really. They're better than me. They're faster than me. They have more energy than me. And, of course, they have leverage because I love them. And they use that all the time to win negotiations. And I didn't know what to do. You can't just walk away from your kids. You can't execute the termination agreement. Right? You can't go to arbitrage. You can't call in a lawyer. What are you supposed to do? Well, I'm supposed to be an expert in partnerships and negotiations. I mean, I hang out with you guys. You're all experts. Supposed to know something about it. I have my own company now, AppMine. I'm solving the problem of how companies buy and sell subscriptions. That's a really difficult problem that I've invested my life in. I seem to know something about partnerships. And of course, I was doing consulting for a while, selling the idea that I'm an expert negotiator. But here, I was losing consistently to my kids. I was like, this made me feel really bad. And the thing is, they're just not rational. They don't work. You can't say, what's the business case here? Because they don't care. They're not going to put their shoes on. That's it. There's no business case for putting your shoes on. So I was like, what are you supposed to do? So here's the thing. My wife is a pediatrician, and she has a huge network of parenting resources. And I was selling the idea of hiring consultants to help with difficult problems. So I said to her, let's tap your network, and let's call in some parenting coaches. There must be consultants. And sure enough, there are. And I learned some things that really helped me understand what was going on with Banana Man over there. I'm going to share it with you. So why do kids drive you crazy? At school, with other people, they seem to be on their best behavior. But when they come home, they can throw tantrums, they're clingy, they can fight with you, they could even hit you. You're like, what's going on with you? It's because, like partnership people, they live in risk all day long. The world is an uncertain place for them, and inside their mind, it's chaotic, right? And finally, when they come home, they're relaxed, and they rely on their parent as their island of calm to bring things back to order, right? That is why they treat you such a different way, is they need you to bring things back to order for them, because they're in chaos. And the funny thing is, as a consultant, I had the same idea about why clients hire consultants. I was working with CEOs and executives, and they too had to put on a good face, in front of their staff and partners and customers and vendors. But behind the scenes, they would tell me, they were seriously scared. They had a lot of anxiety. Things were out of control. They didn't know how to bring things to order. And what they wanted from me as a consultant was not any particular thing that I was going to do for them, but as long as I left them at the end of the contract back in control, things were back in order, and they had back in command of the situation, they were happy. And then conversely, if I did anything in either situation to make things riskier, things would spiral out of control. If a kid comes to you and they're freaking out, and you freak out in response, things fall apart for them, and they go, things just escalate very, very dramatically. And for a client, if you do anything to increase their anxiety, that's a bad day. You could lose that client. I was like, well, this is interesting. If these are the same things, maybe there's an answer. But why Banana Man over there, those difficult situations that made no sense to me, maybe it's the same thing. These people maybe are living in a chaotic state, but they just don't know what to do about it. And they're treating me in a weird way in a partnership negotiation because they're looking for me to give them an answer. So from this, I kind of learned some skills. And the first thing I want to leave you with is the idea is you don't need to solve the problem for your partners. You just kind of need to be a lifeboat. A lot of us deal with risks all the time, and sometimes those risks are overwhelming. And sometimes we feel like we're in the soup and we have a difficult thing we need to do and we don't know how to do it. When you're dealing with a partner and you don't seem to understand what they're doing, all you need to do is get them out of the water and into a lifeboat. Doesn't mean that they're dry. Doesn't mean they're on solid land, but at least they have hope now that things will start getting back into control. That's all you really need to do. So how do you do this? So there's a very important framework about understanding children called won't versus can't. If you reframe what they're doing from they won't do it, they will not do it, they just want attention, they're making decisions, they're lazy, you end up punishing them. You're saying you made a decision, you're treating them as they made a moral choice. But really, kids don't want to be bad, right? They want to be good. They just don't know how to get there, right? And what they need from their parents or any guardian is to help them get to the place where they can do it, right? So if you reframe the behavior, you end up finding out that most kids behave badly because they just don't know how to do the right thing. So there could be other things going on in their lives. There could be, honestly, a lot of the times it's just, for little kids, like my kids are 7, 5, and 2, it's usually just physical. They could be hungry or tired or cold, right? Something else that could be going on at school. Maybe they're getting bullied. Maybe they're fighting with their kids, with their siblings. Maybe they just don't know what to do. Maybe they don't have this skill. I'm asking them to, get ready for the zoo. They may not know what they need to pack, right? And then they start freaking out. I found with partners, it was actually kind of the same thing. Why is a partner, fading out on execution? Maybe they don't actually have control of the engineering team. Maybe the engineering team faded out on them and undermined them, but they're embarrassed to tell you that. Maybe why is the contract coming back from legal completely wrong? Is that maybe they don't have the skills to deal with commercial agreements, right? Maybe you can help them work with their legal team to get the commercial agreement correct, but maybe they don't know legal. There could be a lot of reasons why partners behave badly, but if they're talking to you and trying to engage with you, even in a crazy way, it's because they want the partnership to work. They just don't know how to do it. And a very good example, I've seen it, is where these CEOs wake up and they're anxious for more revenue, and they're anxious, and anxiety is contagious. So they go to the partner manager and say, hey, you need to deliver revenue from the partner channel. right? Or we're going to divert resources to sales. So the partner manager gets anxious, and not knowing how to generate more revenue from the partner channels puts sales quotas on their partners, which is crazy because partners don't need sales quotas from you, right? They're focusing on their customers. They would love to sell more with you, but they don't need sales quotas. And now you made them anxious, and what are they going to do? Force their customers to buy what you're selling, increasing the anxiety for their customers. What are their customers going to do? Abandon that partner. You're going to lose those customers. They'd rather keep the customer than keep you. But we've seen this all the time. The right thing to do if you want to generate more revenue from a partner channel is figure out how to go to market together, to serve that customer better, because you're partners, right? But this is what happens when anxiety, drives decisions. So fundamentally, how do you frame this if you want to simplify it? It's really important to just focus on encouragement. Now, encouragement doesn't mean just good job. It means anything positive, a positive ladder to success. And because discouragement is 10 times more powerful than encouragement, right? You want to keep things in a positive way. So a lot of us, how many of us have a partner newsletter? Yeah, some of us, but not all of us. I think it's such a basic thing. People want attention. Yes, they want to know that you care about them. How many of us tell our partners when they've done something successful, sent us customers, every month, show them how good they're doing for us? How many of us, say, hey, you did a great integration. We're going to really work hard on the launch for you. Hey, you decided to upgrade your integration. We're going to do a webinar for you and help you out. Hey, you bought a booth at our trade show. We're going to get you on stage. Everything difficult, it's give and take. You want them to do difficult work for you, you have to give them something in return, right? And this is what helps get people moving on the success path. Even with my kids, I found that sticker charts, as strange as it is, little reward charts, had 10 times the impact of any punishment. Because kids just want to know that they're doing the right thing because they want the relationship with you. And partners want the relationship with you. So, as much as you could do a sticker chart for your partners, which you probably could, which would be amazing, the more you encourage your partners and get them on the right path, the more you get out of them, even if they are feeling that they're living in a world of risk. And the last thing is the thing that I learned the most over the last 10 years about relationships here. The romance of partnerships says we're equal partners. Right? My wife and I are equal. But partnerships are not always about equality. There's always one partner, there's often one partner who's more powerful than the other, and just like a parent and child. And you end up with different styles of dealing with power. And not all styles lower risk. Some styles increase risk. In fact, most styles increase risk. So you often have the authoritarian partner. You see this, especially when the dark cloud arrives and say, you know what? I need you to do something for me. It's like, well, what do I get out of it? Nothing. You're going to integrate our billing API, put all the billing through us. Very common thing that happens over the last 10 years. We've seen a lot of that. But what's the impact of that, right, on your partner when you just say, because I said so, you're going to do it? Well, you're going to increase risk for them. It's a lose-lose situation, right? So they do it. They're going to have to risk more resources. Go to their CEO. I need more resources for my company to do this, right, to get less money. Or I don't do it. I lose a partnership, and I lose that channel. So either way, they've gone back to their CEO and increased the risk for their company, and that's what you've done to them. For this person who's like an employee, you've made their job much harder. Is there a better way of framing that than increasing the risk for your partners? Maybe. The alternative is to sometimes you're the weaker partner, right? And you want a big channel. I did this. I'm guilty of this. At FreshBooks, I worked our partnership with a big company for 5 years while I was there, and 2 years after I left FreshBooks, I still worked on it. I wanted it so badly. It was so crazy that I did this. But for me, I did it because I wanted the feather in my cap on LinkedIn. I wasn't focused on customers. If you're permissive, you're kind of focused on yourself and making sure that your needs are met. You're not focused on the customer. You're trying to do anything you can to keep that partner happy. But of course, you become a welcome mat. They're going to walk all over you. Or I think a lot of us are uninvolved. We don't even pay attention to our partners, especially not our agency partners or reseller partners. People are doing work around us. We're not even talking to them, giving them any attention, right? It doesn't actually lower the risk to ignore them, but it doesn't help anything. So it doesn't increase the risk, but it doesn't do anything to lower the risk for them. And of course, without attention, people just stop paying attention to you, right? Now, that's an easy one to fix. The right way to go, but that's the hardest way to go, is think of your partners as partners. You're going to market together. It's really hard, but work together to lower the risk about how to serve that customer together. And if that is your frame, no one ever does no one ever does one thing. But if you orient yourself as like, this is probably what I should be doing all the time. It's like, am I creating risk for my partners, or am I working hard to lower the risk for my partners in the way I'm talking to them? You'll end up having a more stable ecosystem. More people will want to come work with you. they'll put more energy into you. They'll invest more in you because you're lowering risk for them. And partnership people, fundamentally, we swim in risk. And anyone who lowers the risk in our jobs, we love. And so with that, I will say, just remember, we're all on the lifeboat together. All of us deal with risk all day long. Your partner's in the soup. You're in the soup. We can all help each other into the lifeboat and try to lower the risk for each other. We'll be better served. So that's how I dealt with the toughest negotiators I've ever dealt with. And with that, I want to thank some people. Putting on a show like this is really hard. So I would like to thank, first, all the officers and chairs, Jake, Steve, and Dina, who are the officers of the CSA, and the chairs, Naomi, Ty, and Tom, who helped put on the conference. Thank you very much. Plus all the vice presidents, Chris, Morgan, Simon, and David, who are also helped building the CSA, and all those who tweeted and brought people, and shared on LinkedIn, who brought people here, and of course, Novice over here, and Bespoke and ACA Video, who are putting on the production. Thank you so much for helping on put on this show. Can I give them a round of applause? Of course, I'd love to thank our sponsors. With them, with their support, we've been able to invest and grow this partnership network. And these people, of course, are the most interested in meeting partnership people and investing in the network. So, if you can, I would suggest talking to all of them today, because there's something they want to talk to you about that is probably important to you, and you should get to know what they're trying to talk to you about. And most of them are in the hall here, or they're going to be around. So thank you, Microsoft, Crossbeam, and Salesforce, and AppDirect, who are our big annual sponsors. And thanks to all the other sponsors that helped put on the show. I want to give an extra special thank you, because we're partnership people and we love drinking, to Microsoft and AP Intego, who put on the party tonight. So thank them very much tonight, for sure. And with that, I want to thank our most important volunteers, our board. So can the board members come up? These are nominees for the board. Come on, don't be shy. Chris, Jake, Bob, Naomi. Do we have a mic? Thanks, Josh. So I'd like to introduce the board, our nominees. These people help us throughout the year build the network, and this is the core of our network. So I'd like to have them introduce themselves and say a couple words.
Am I starting?
Yeah, start.
I feel like Jake should start. I don't know, just because, but no, that's fine. Hi, everyone, and welcome to SaaS Connect 2019. My name is Naomi Mbakwe, and I am Head of Alliances for AppDirect, one of the sponsors, and has been involved in the CSA for, 8 years? Yeah, Sunir has a fun story about his first child and AppDirect, but I'm sure he'll get to that when Dan's keynote is on. But we have a table out in the hall. Please come stop by and say hi. We are obviously very big into partnerships because AppDirect sits at the center of an ecosystem between developers, ISVs, customers of the likes of AT&T, Deutsche Telekom, Copper, for example, and their SMB customers, and building an end-to-end commerce platform to drive the distribution of software applications to those SMBs. So please come and say hi. We are out in the hall.
Thank you. My name is Jake Wallace, chair of the board. I also head up partnerships for Aweber, email marketing automation platform. I've been with the CSA as a member for almost 3 years now, and then fully engaged about a year ago. So if you haven't already, please join our Slack community. We'll continue the conversation beyond these 2 days, so please join it.
Hey everybody, Bob Moore. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Crossbeam. Relatively new to CSA, but was previously involved and in the loop through past companies of mine, RJ Metrics, Stitch, and I spent some time at Magento as well. Super excited to spend a lot of time with folks today. We do have a booth out in the hall as well. At a high level, we are a platform that helps companies identify the customers and sales prospects they have in common by serving as kind of a data escrow service that sits in between partners and allows them to identify that without over-divulging data. So really jazzed about the future of partnership tech. I've got a session today at 1:30 where we're diving into a bunch of the new tech platforms that are out there for folks in roles in the partnership world, and happy to dive in with anybody. Thanks.
Awesome. Hey everybody, my name is Ty Lingley and I'm head of partnerships at Unbounce. Unbounce is a B2B SaaS company in the marketing technology space. And I came to SaaS Connect last year and just got a ton of value, and Sunir graciously invited me to the board, and I helped out this year with sponsorships. So thank you to all of the people who helped make this event happening through their generous sponsorships. And hope to see you all on the Slack channel and throughout the week. And thanks for being here.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Chris Generalis. I've been part of this organization for like last 8 or 9 years. And Sunir, this is the first conference where you are not sick and have a voice. So you must have done something right.
Yeah,
So
it didn't work out for me. My 2-year-old's in the hospital, so
I said, whoa,
yeah.
way to bring us down, Sunir.
She'll be fine. She'll be fine.
I work for a company called Celigo. I lead alliances there. We are an integration platform as a service. So if you have any integration needs, please come and seek me out. I'd love to chat.
Hi there, Dwight Foster. I run strategic accounts for a company called Skykick. We're a very important partner for one of the big sponsors, Microsoft. We help companies move to Office 365. I've been on the board for about 3 years, and a huge shout out to Sunir. He does a lot of work, as does the board, but Sunir really holds the torch. The other thing I would say to the group, which I think I said last year as well, is this is an organization that's run by volunteers. So if you're interested in the content and you have a great show, feel free to volunteer your time in some capacity, right? Everybody who's on the board was in your seat X number of years ago, and we have a very robust strategic advisor network as well. So if you have a good show, please raise your hand and step up for next year.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Richard Gilbert. I've been on the board for about 3.5 years. I've been coming to SaaS Connect for 4 years. This is by far one of my most favorite events. I always learn so much. I always have certain objectives I want to get out of these 2 days and bring back to my work. And then also the networking is just amazing. I work for PayPal. I head up industry partnerships for PayPal. I'm based out of New York. And another sort of role that I've been evangelizing on the board, we don't have a lot of presence on the East Coast. So I'm always trying to get things going on the East Coast from a CSA perspective as well, as is Jake. So any of you who are from the East Coast and want to reach out, we'd love to sort of develop some informal meetups and things like that. That'd be great.
Thanks, Richard. Stephen Larson. I've been on the board just going in my 3rd year. I'm also the treasurer, so I also thank everyone for sponsoring and also paying your dues to come here today. I can tell you as a nonprofit organization, I mean, you guys literally keep the lights on, so we do greatly appreciate it. Also, thank all the volunteers get involved. My day job is I work for Sisense, is a data analytics platform, and I run their global alliances.
Morning, everyone. My name is Manvinder Singh. I've been coming to SaaS Connect in one form or another for about 4 years now. And last year, I joined the board as well. I see a lot of value in this event. I'm sure you do as well. So I work for Google Cloud. I lead partnerships for infrastructure and PaaS companies. And Google Cloud is basically Google's business that includes G Suite, Google, formerly known as Google Apps, as well as GCP. There's a few of us here today and tomorrow, so please do reach out. I would love to talk to you. And thanks for coming.
Good morning, Randy Farbach, LogMeIn, North America Channel Manager. LogMeIn is a portfolio of 16 different products spread out around 3 different business units. Our UCC platform, probably GoToMeeting, GoToWebinar, are our most popular or well-known. Our customer engagement, Bold 360 AI is really hot. So, and then Rescue for support, and our identity access management, LastPass, and GoToMyPC, and those types. I work traditional channels, referral and resell, and also involved with integrations, and I know a lot of you have integrations with us. I love coming here to be in the lifeboat with you, to learn and share and figure out how to partner together. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Dina Moskowitz, and I'm the CEO and founder of SaaSmax. And we basically exist to help SaaS companies and reseller partners cross the chasm. We sort of create that middle ground where we have intelligence platforms that help our SaaS vendors find the right reseller partners, channel partners, primarily in IT. And then we help those same channel partners looking for the right SaaS providers so that they can build the right bundles and stacks for their clients. So it's great to be here. I think I've been part of it for maybe 5 or 6 years, maybe longer, through when it was first held as a Google ecosystem, and it's amazing to see how it's grown. So, hi.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jose Gomez Cueto. I am representing Microsoft. This is my first time at SaaS Connect, so I'm delighted, honored, and humbled to be here. Thank you, Sunir, and the whole board. You guys do an amazing job. I'm here to learn and hopefully to help you achieve all your objectives and empower you in terms of the tools that we provide. I joined Microsoft in year 2000, right after daycare. Actually, I'm not as young as I look, but I represent basically the small and medium business segment that we do and drive through our reseller and basically channel ecosystem. So there's approximately like 3 or 4 of us here in the next 2 days. We're really looking forward in engaging, learning what your goals are, what you want to achieve, and also tell you about the cloud offerings and programs that we have for startup and SaaS companies. So thank you again, delighted to be here and really looking forward for this event and getting to know all of you.
Thank you so much. And we're also happy to have Leslie Tom, VP of the Salesforce App Exchange, join the board. Unfortunately, she's away on travel, but it's great to have also the Salesforce ecosystem. So with that, with your applause, I'd love to vote them in. So with everyone, please thank the board. Okay. Well, thank you so much.